Every single day, we're getting some kind of new info about the digital circus, and just recently a small snippet of the script for episode 7 popped up. I can't say for sure that it's 100% legit, but some of the matching lines and the similarity to what Goose showed us right after episode 3 dropped make it a bit more convincing that this could actually be an official leak. To put it short, the image shows another conversation scene between Pomni and Jax, kind of like the one we saw back in episode 6. On top of that, we found out that episode 7 is going to reveal another big detail, and right now, I'm talking about the most mysterious room, Jax's room. Remember how back in April 2024, the creators showed us several character rooms, and the one that shocked everyone the most was exactly the image of Jax's room. We know the rooms of all the other characters, while here we just see a door, and behind it the void. Most likely, there's something insanely important for the plot hidden inside, and since episode 7 is going to be the foundation of all the madness that comes after the long-awaited reveal of Jax's room has to happen exactly in episode 7. For some reason, I'm sure Ribbit's going to be involved here somehow, the one we've been talking about these last few days. And of course, a few small updates on the digital circus in general. Amanda Hufford, the voice of Ragatha, cried in a recent recording session. The cast and crew had a big cry together at the final episode table read. Michael Kovach's best moments as Jax haven't happened yet. What shocked me the most was the news about Ragatha, because it's kinda weird that something's gonna happen with this character that made the voice actor cry, especially considering that in one of the final scenes of episode 6, everything seemed fine with her. Maybe the most interesting stuff with this character is still ahead of us, and with all that in mind, I got curious about what's gonna happen with absolutely every character in episode 7, and how their story is gonna affect the future of the digital circus. From the very start of the latest episode, Pomni still hadn't forgotten about Ragatha, and in one of the final scenes of episode 6, we saw that. Looks like now both Pomni and Ragatha might finally get a real friend. We've seen hints of this in pretty much every episode, but that super dramatic scene with Pomni and Jax pushed our jester to realize that nobody's going to treat her with the same care and kindness as Ragatha. Episode 7's definitely going to keep that going, and Pomni's main arc next time will be all about building up that friendship with Ragatha. It might seem like Pomni could have gotten totally disappointed in Jax after all that, but some scenes from the Favorite Character Awards hint at something else. And we'll definitely get into that later, cause how it plays out is gonna shape the future of the digital circus in a big way. As we can see, Pomni ain't gonna be that shy, scared girl from the early episodes anymore. She's learned how to handle all the weird stuff in the digital circus, and now her main goal is gonna be building up that friendship with Ragatha. Since we've already brought up the doll, she's gone through a ton of changes lately. Back in episode 5, it looked like she was left all alone, and because of that, a lot of people started predicting she'd get abstracted soon, but like I said way back in June, that's straight up nonsense. Episode 6 turned out pretty rough for Ragatha though.
I try too hard to get on their good side, and then I just end up pushing them away. And then they end up hating me.
Well, I don't think anyone in here hates you.
Jax does! Gangle and Supal don't ever talk to me, and Pomni probably won't after today either.
We can really see how much Ragatha's torn up by everything going down around her, and she knows damn well that her fake happy girl act is only hurting her. After what went down in the last 2 episodes, I'm more than sure Ragatha's finally gonna drop that forever smiling mask, and for the first time we'll see an episode where she's herself from start to finish. And y'all still remember what Ragatha told Jax right before her so-called death. Maybe what she said was about what had happened later in the EP, or maybe it's hinting at something way darker. Y'all remember how in one of my vids I dropped that theory that Jax caused Ribbit's abstraction? It's pretty likely that scene from episode 5 wasn't just a show of jealousy, but fear for Pomni's life, cause Ragatha knows exactly what's coming next. And we all remember how Jax kept dodging any talk about his best friend.
So, you wanna talk about that?
I'm in a maid outfit, what do you think?
What was that about?
It's nothing. Who cares?
I'm sure that based on Pomni and Ragatha getting closer, the doll's gonna tell our jester the whole truth about what went down back then, and why it's such a painful topic for Jax. Either way, we're seeing positive changes in both of these characters, and that's making episode 7 look more and more intriguing. And now in the context of these two characters, we can go back to that final scene where Pomni's still worried about Jax, and doesn't get why he acted that way. Considering that and the fact that Ragatha mentioned Jax in that conversation with Kinger, I'm more than sure that in episode 7, we're gonna see these two try to reach out to Jax, figure out what's going on with him, and try to solve his main problem, which was clearly shown to us in episode 7. We can't be sure that Jax was super close with Kaufmo, but they were definitely friends. While we know Ribbit was Jax's best friend, and losing him was a key moment for Jax, cause that's when he started acting like a total jerk. As viewers, we can totally understand what caused Jax's awful behavior.
I do not care about you or anyone else in this circus in the slightest. End of story. You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer.
But the problem for the residents of the digital circus is that they only see one side of the situation, and because of that, they can't really draw the right conclusions. So at the start of episode 7, Jax is gonna look like a jerk who just wants to have fun and doesn't care about anyone else's wishes or problems. But we know that losing his best friend, constantly pretending, and trying to pass himself off as someone else is what led to this.
God, you look stupid.
This is how Jax is gonna enter episode 7, a guy completely lost and actually on the edge of abstraction. Of course, that won't actually happen, but Jax's mental health could seriously take a hit if he keeps living at this pace. So far, we've only seen one of his panic attacks, but I've got a feeling that if Jax doesn't stop pretending and acting like everything's fine, he's in for a sad ending. Do you think Jax had a panic attack like that after this scene? Jax has got to learn to live in the reality of the digital circus, not invent some hidden meaning like he's always done. I feel like Jax totally gets this himself, and it's pretty likely that his entire story arc in episode 7 is going to be all about accepting the real reality. Like I said, Pomni and Ragatha are more than happy to help him, but the interesting part is whether he's going to accept their help or try to handle it all on his own. We'll save Kinger for dessert, because there's definitely a lot to say about that guy. But for now, let's talk about Zooble and Gangle, who keep getting closer and closer with every new episode.
If we can't find the Tommy gun, will this work?
Yeah. Do you think Jax is gonna be mad that I didn't team up with him?
I wouldn't worry about him right now. It's all just a game in the end.
It's Jax, though.
These two are honestly the kind of characters that barely ever change. The only real shift we've seen is during therapy, where Zooble actually helped Gangle deal with her issues, and maybe now she'll finally be able to stay happy no matter which mask she's wearing. As for Zooble, things are pretty much steady, and you really shouldn't expect anything drastically new from her. But Kinger with his secret superpowers has raised a ton of questions among Digital Circus fans. There are really only two possibilities here. Either Kinger is actually one of the show's creators, which would explain why he can pull off stuff like that, and instantly flip his mood. If that's true, then his whole crazy act is just an illusion. Or Kinger stays exactly the same as before, but that butterfly ends up affecting the Digital Circus events in a way that makes everyone realize they can literally do anything they want in this digital space. Anyway, whatever happens around each of the characters is going to have a crazy impact on episode 7, and all we can do is guess what's coming next. As always, I'm waiting to hear your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see y'all real soon.